corn is out, it's sweet, and it is fantastic. So big success on sweet corn this year. Good morning, everyone. I've been talking about this courtyard project for months now, and we have reached a point of getting started. This area is going to be a walkway back to that opening. This is going to be some sort of block, stone, or paver intermixed with some sort of rock. And I'm hoping to do the rock in a way that I can put that glue material on it and make it more of a solid surface. This opening has to come off of that curved sidewalk and curve out and join this concrete pad. With the pool being directly behind the camera, we've got to add a sidewalk that comes in and joins this pad. It's going to be a tremendous amount of digging and leveling and some precision work. And if you watch the video about me completing the interior of the pond cabin, precision work is really a distant thing from my abilities. We're just going to do the best we can. I think I can tighten my impatience up a little bit and do this in a good way. So we've got 12 yards in length and about 6 feet at the widest in width. So now we can do a little calculation and figure out how many stones we'll need and how much rock we'll need. And the first step in this entire project is going to be to relocate this water pipe. It runs from a faucet out to the pool bar. Now, it's not pressurized. It's just a pipe that's running the ground off of a hose that's buried and a coupling off the faucet, so no pressure. Nope. Wow, it's coming up pretty easy. Okay, now, smaller details. Getting this pipe out of the ground is finished. We'll just lay it over the fence, out of the way, and we'll reuse this pipe whenever we reconnect and come around. In order to get this new pour straight, I'll run a string from that column, which is very straight, back over to the pool deck, and it will be close enough for what we're going to do, which is just set that pergola on top of this small extension of the concrete. We're at the end of day one on this backyard courtyard project. And just so I'm clear, this is my wife's project. So the movement and the timeline will be based on her schedule. And she thinks a lot more than I do about things. I usually just dive in there and let it be. She's already planning this, so we'll move at her pace. But today we got the trench for the additional concrete dug out a bit here. We'll have a little bit more finish work on that. We've got the basic outline of the sidewalk long ways. We have an idea of how it'll curve. Tomorrow I have to move some rocks on both sides and finish the digging. And then we have to work with some roots and measurements to tie this front additional sidewalk, the one that'll blend back in, into the main sidewalk. We'll continue to rake it, shovel it, whatever we need to do. It's been a good day. We'll come back tomorrow and do a little bit more work. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Now we have a string laid out to make sure that our additional pour is straight instead of curved back like this existing pad. Also, if you remember yesterday, I mentioned this was my wife's project and I'm going to work under her requirements. Well, last night she informed me that she might not want to do this. I didn't say you could have told me that yesterday because I want to have a peaceful household. But anyway, we did a lot of work and I'm not sure we're going to do that. It won't bother me either way. Whatever she decides we'll do. But I am going to wait to cut that giant root out until we get the final decision on this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ignore this until we get that final decision. So today we're just going to work on the main sidewalk. Lots to do, so let's get at it. I have to move all these rocks out of the way so I can run another string and get my line for that outside layer of pavers. We'll knock that out real quick. This thing works like a really good cutting plow. Let's move this dirt. Another marble. I find them all the time. There's 1,000 marbles in the yard. Trying not to get carried away with this digging. Might have to come back and add some dirt to this little spot. I know I have to turn my line of bricks back this way just after this corner post. So I'm just going to put the string right there at the post. We'll worry about that little turn later on. Because the concrete to support these step posts is out front about 3 inches, we're going to put our brick line, our border, in front of it. I'll fill in the top of those things with rock. That'll just make sure everything's away from that board and it'll work. And I'm not worried about this rock line. I can move those anytime. I just want to get an idea of what the line looks like. Well, I want to leave my pocket knife over where I put that first string in. Good way to lose it. Okay. Ah, perfect. We have our string laid out on both sides of the sidewalk. Hopefully you can make this one out on my left and this one out on my right. That gives us an idea of how to lay the border bricks out. We still have a lot more dirt to move. But since it's 12 noon and in the heat of the day and our cloud cover is not hanging around, we're going to knock off for a while. We're going to come back later this afternoon when it cools off. But in the interim, we're going to take the sweet corn that we picked and find some folks who need it more than we do, because we are set. We have all we need. So we're going to go deliver some sweet corn to some friends and to our local early learning center. We'll come back with you this afternoon when it's a little bit cooler. Power steering seems a little low. I've already checked the oil while the truck was sitting nice and level inside the garage, so it's fine. I think we're in good shape to load the corn up and go make some deliveries. We'll make a couple of stops in town and see if we can't pass along some of this sweet corn before it starts getting a little bit dried out. Got a little turn and a little turn. Low spot. We've been grinding away for a couple hours now after taking a break at lunchtime. And we're going to check out what these pavers look like and then call it a day and probably call it for this video. We'll come back with a update and more work as we get to it, but watch me lay these out and see how they fit. And until we talk to you again, hope you're enjoying this courtyard project. We'll see you again soon. Not terrible. I need some shade.